Good afternoon. We're just going to wait a minute or two to make sure everybody can get in. I am Heidi, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with you. Okay, we're going to get started. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Heidi Paulson. I am with Adair Homes. I'm the Design Options Coordinator. So my role here is I am one of the lucky ones who gets to design and redesign our current branches, or design new branches. I also get to pick new products that we want to offer to our customers, and I handle things that come up. So I am here with Carrie behind the scenes. Carrie is going to be manning our online chat. She's also going to be interrupting and letting me know when there's a question, if I can answer that right away. If I don't have a great answer, then we will for sure get back to you or point you in a direction to get the answer that you need. So I want to thank you for your time again. And today we're going to be talking about setting priorities and helping you get the most of what you want in your budget. Just some tips and tricks and, you know, some other things to think about, because this is your home. This isn't somebody else's home. So we want it to feel like you. So that's what we'll talk about today. Excellent. Hang on a second, we're having trouble moving the slide forward. Great. So setting priorities, navigating the design landscape together to maximize your budget. Through this process, you're going to be thinking about what's most important to you. A lot of our home builders are in pairs. So it's trying to bring those two thoughts together in the best way and having you work together to set those priorities. And that's some of what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be offering at the end, you will be able to get some of these tools that I'm going to talk about in PDF form, so you can work on these things at home with your partner or spouse. So also, it says set realistic expectations. If you're building a house, this is going to be a gigantic feat for anyone. This isn't you just walking into a home and it's already done. This is you making a lot of the decisions and picking everything that you're going to have in your home, and then working with us as your builder for all the steps. Now, we've been in business for over 50 years, and we know how to build houses, but we don't necessarily know how to build with you. So it's working in partnership together to get you exactly what you want. It's a little bit like baking a cake with 400 ingredients. There's so many things that could possibly go wrong, but at least we have a lot of experience to help us navigate and get you through. So that's the best example, is just a really big cake. Okay, next slide. I think it should work for you now. Oh, okay. So part of the decision-making process, a lot of times when you decide you're going to build a home, you start thinking about all the things that you've always dreamed of in your home. I call it abstract thinking. So oftentimes you'll hear yourself say, I've always wanted an island in my kitchen so my kids can have breakfast at the bar, or I want to shop, I need a third car garage. There's things that just keep coming up for you when you start to think about building a home. And paying attention to those and writing those down is a really good start to help you get the most of what you want in your home. So the next thing would be compiling ideas. We have a lot of resources in today's society. There's the internet, there's HGTV, there's Pinterest, lots of ways for you to collect things that appeal to you and kind of put them in a place where you can look at them all together, and then eventually share those with your home ownership counselor when they go and do your design meeting with you. Defining priorities, we're going to talk about what those are, how to bring those together. Comparing wants and needs. You know, I want this, I want that, but what do you actually need? And then it's about weighing the budget items. So weighing your want for X with what it costs. So things like that. And then just I'm going to share some tips that I think will help with working with your partner in coming together to put this home together. Because I've been in a room multiple times with partners who maybe haven't come to agreement of what they want, and then, you know, there's some bad feelings there. And so if I can give some advice to help you guys through that, I will happily do that. So we're all individuals. Even if you're in a pair, you're still going to have different wants and likes and dreams. Putting those two things together can take some time. It can take some real effort. So the more you are together with your ideas, the faster, the more painless it's going to be when you're bringing that together with your budget. So this next tool that I'm going to show you is going to be a way for, if there's two people, to individually write down the things that are important to them and what's not necessarily so important. Sorry. Now, first we're going to talk about the basics. These are the things that you know that you want in a home. A lot of times pairs or singles know what they want. They know approximately how big of a home they want, how many bedrooms and bathrooms they want, if they want the 3-car garage. Some people may be looking at an extra living unit for mother-in-law or father-in-law or an adult child. They possibly know if they want a 1-story or a 2-story home. And then the exterior style of the house. We have modern farmhouse, craftsman, and more traditional looks. Some people know that they want the owner's suite on one side of the house and the kids' rooms on the other, just for privacy and to have that differentiation of space. So you probably already know a lot of those, but actually putting some thought and writing it down is really a nice way to help build in your mind this home ahead of time. So this is the priorities grid. We're going to be offering a rendition of this for you to fill out at home. I've kind of just plugged in some things that you know may be on my list, or they may be on a lot of other people's lists. So you have to figure out and put these in categories: what your must-haves are, what your would-like-to-haves are, what you imagine you could do later on if you were going to do a project later and just hold on part of that budget, and things that you don't really care about. So getting really honest with what you want and the things that are important to you and your partner is going to, this is going to fill out nicely. I think we're going to give you a list of items that you could write into these different categories. And you know, the more that you write in these things, just the more concrete it's going to become in your head. So things that we have on here are quartz counters in the kitchen is a must-have. Somebody who really likes to cook and entertain, they're going to focus a lot of their money and effort and time in the kitchen. They want gourmet appliances. They want a fireplace. They want the third bay garage. They want 9-foot ceilings, upgraded carpet, hard surfaces floor like a laminate floor, and you know, throughout the living area. The would like to haves for this particular person would be solid surface in the master bathroom, a farm sink in the kitchen. That would be something that they would like to have, but don't necessarily have to have. A tile shower, that would be something that they would like to have, but you know, it depends on how much it costs. LVP, luxury vinyl plank throughout the house, is something that a lot of people would like to have, but you know, you have to look at the numbers. the upgraded trim, skylights. We have can lights that can be put in all over the house. French doors. That would be something that would be nice to have. So putting those down, and then you go through this process and you share it with your partner, and you see where you coordinate and where you don't. Examples of things you could do later: a solid surface countertop in a kid's bathroom. So that would be something that you don't have to do right now. If you were looking at the numbers, you could have just laminate counters in the kids' bathroom, do the standard finishes in their bathrooms and in the common areas, and spend your money on the kitchen where it's most important to you. You can update the backsplash later, so you can get something more utility right now and wait for, say you didn't find anything that you liked, you could get something fabulous, down the road. Shower doors is another option that you could do later. So, and the don't really care about, I mean, this is really dependent on what you're looking for. A lot of times gentlemen will want all the stuff for the shop or the garage, or we just all have different wants and needs, and there are some things that it doesn't matter to you. If it's plumbing, it's plumbing. It's a faucet, it's fine. So getting really in tune with those, I think, is going to really help in confirming where you want to put your money and where you don't. So when it does come to looking at the budget, these are the things that should be the most important to you to do right now. We as a DARE and doing the home build, these are the things that it would be better and easier for you if we take care of these the first time. So any kind of structural changes, say you want to add square footage to a bedroom, or a doorway or a window, a skylight, that kind of thing, any of that stuff that we can engineer into the home ahead of time is going to help you in the long run. So that's one that you should really consider. So you don't necessarily want to build a house that you are signing up to have to add on to in 5 years. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So spending the extra money to get the structure right is going to be key. Anything electrical, we have our standard dome lights in a lot of our spaces right now. Say you want to upgrade to can lights throughout, that kind of thing. That's a really good thing to look at. If you want pendant lights, imagine putting pendant lights in your vaulted ceiling in your kitchen in 5 years. It's just a bigger job than it needs to be. So hitting some of those things on the front side is a really good idea. The exterior, it's more on the difficult side. We're putting hardy plank siding on your home, or if you're in Arizona, we're doing a stucco finish. Those things are fairly permanent, and you don't want to necessarily add on the cultured stone later on. So you could do cultured stone, you can upgrade your door package, the design and the different formats of the different siding. If you have a farmhouse and you have the board and batten, maybe that's something that you want to spend your money on ahead of time so it's taken care of. The utility stuff, if you want to upgrade your water heater, or have a bigger washer and dryer space. There's all those things that make a lot of sense to look at and really consider ahead of time. Do you want to ask any questions?
Francisca's asking if there's a place they can see how much some of the upgrades would be.
We do have a sheet that we send out that gives approximate cost, and that would be across our different regions. So we have a lower number and a higher number, and so it's a general number in there. A lot of it depends on which plan you pick. So you can't give you an actual number. You're going to get that better number from the home ownership counselor in the region that you're looking at. So, great question. So when we're looking at potentially putting some things off, we mentioned the structural items and things like that are are going to be ones that you want to hit. I think there's also, I mentioned, you know, maybe doing the standard finishes in some of your secondary spaces and upgrading in your owner's suite or your kitchen spaces where you're going to be a lot of times. There's also little things that you can do or consider. I want you to consider. So there's say if you do your, say you want to add a solid surface countertop, but the cost is prohibitive in the beginning. The work needed to redo a countertop later on is so much less than redoing your entire floor. So just think about the work that would be involved in pulling out all of your furniture, moving it around, the days of upheaval, you know, having to have everybody clean up their stuff. That, to me, putting the best flooring in your home makes more sense than putting the best countertop in your home if you're looking at having to do something later on. Looks like there was a lot of questions on that.
Nope, we're good to go.
Oh, okay, awesome. So think about that when you are looking at having to put something off. What's going to be easier and what's going to be harder? There's going to be project management by you on some level. It's just how difficult is it actually going to be to live in the home and, you know, have everybody participate. This is a kitchen in our Lincoln plan that is quite beautiful. This has our Naughty Alder cabinets in a bourbon stain, a nice granite. I believe this is an LVP product, luxury vinyl plank, which would be suitable for all living spaces and into the bathroom. So a lot of people are looking at that. Another thing I like about LVP is it's warm to the temperature of your home. So it's not, you know, unlike tile would be cold unless you had the heated situation. And I'm going to be doing more videos on product knowledge and things like that. So, so I'm not going to hit that too hard, but this is a really nice plan. This is a really nice combination that somebody has put forward. So the upgrades to consider at the outset would be hard surface flooring throughout, tile showers, tub surrounds, atrium door, French doors, the prairie grid accent on the windows. So that would be like the grid on the front of the home to just kind of give you more detail on the front of the home and the windows. The upgraded garage door. So the standard door is an uninsulated door, but we can upgrade into a different door, some insulated ones. There's the craftsman or farmhouse details, the elevation. That's one that a lot of people really like to upgrade into. Interior trim package, interior paint package. A lot of our customers actually do their own painting, but Adair does have painters, so we can do both the exterior and the interior, and that's just something you need to weigh the cost of versus the hassle factor of having to do something or project manage somebody else to do it later. The toilet upgrade is getting you to a comfort height toilet, or an ADA style toilet, and doing those throughout the house, you know, is just a smart idea. And that one's not, it's not a very big bump up in price. So there's you can upgrade into the built-in appliances. The gourmet kitchen package gets you the double ovens, you know, so if you're a big baker, that would be really appealing. There's cabinetry items that we can do. So we have mudroom cubbies, built-in bookcases, utility room cabinets. So utility room cabinets are not standard, but we have, you can get the same cabinets in the utility room that you do in your kitchen and throughout the house. The interior door handle upgrades, so you know, getting those lever hardware. Like I said, the interior paint package, funny, it's on there twice. The soft close cabinet technology, that's something that a lot of people really like. It just keeps everybody from slamming drawers. It's a really good, nice option. Freestanding garage. These are all options. This list is going to also be included in the PDFs that we will have available after this this webinar. kind of want to go back to the fact that everybody's list is going to be different. Everybody's going to have different priorities. They're going to have dollar amounts in their mind about what they think that is the value, if that's value or not value. So these conversations can be hard. This can be difficult. I've been in the middle of these. The ultimate goal is to get both of you as much as you want. So if you're both working towards that goal, I think you're going to get there. Single people will battle in their own heads about what is a priority and what is not a priority, and that happens a lot too. So it may be challenging. I want to let you know that we understand that this can be really challenging. You're going to spend a lot of money. This is probably the biggest purchase you're going to make. You need to spend some time on it. You need to look at all the angles. You need to come together. And I want you to know that our HOCs have a lot of experience in helping you find compromise with those budget items. They know, hey, we can shortcut over here. You guys can do that later. They know all of this, and they're going to be able to walk you through that. So I'm excited that they're going to be there for you. This one is kind of on the touchy-feely subject. This is something that I learned a long time ago. So a lot of times if there's two people and they have different feelings about something, one person will have a really big want of something and the other one is like, oh, I don't know if that's really important. But if the one person says, fine, you can have it your way, that's an immediate negative reaction. It doesn't feel good to get it that way. But I've learned that if you give it as a gift, if you say, you know what, I see that this is really important to you, I'm going to give you this as a gift, it turns it into a positive feeling. I'm going to share a personal example of this. So after I was divorced from my husband, he took our daughters skiing for the first time, and I was completely out of control. I wasn't going to be there. I wasn't going to be close if something happened to them, and I was really scared and feeling really worried. And he said, you know what, I'm going to give this to you as a gift. I'm going to promise that our daughters will always wear helmets when they're skiing. And that was a really powerful thing that he gave me that, and it immediately helped the situation. So this is just a tool that it works with everything, but you know, this is something to consider when you're looking at one of the partners really, really wanting something and the other one, you know, having the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to give you that as a gift. And it makes it really nice. Touchy-feely, I know, but it's nice. Oh, one thing I want to hit on. So we're kind of in a place where we're loaded up with all of the things that are on trend. So everything's gray and it's white and it's this and it's that, or it's farmhouse, and you know, we're hit with it constantly. And one thing I want to encourage you is to choose things that you love. If you choose things that you love and you're attached to these things or these looks and it resonates with you, that's going to be a home or a product that you're going to enjoy for many more years than what these trends end up being. So try and listen to what you really like and go in that direction versus what you think other people would want you to pick. So for what it's worth, it's your house, it's not their house, and you're going to live there. And honestly, I want you to be excited every single time you walk in the door. So to sum things up, I suggest making lists, making individual lists, coming together after that and talking about what you've come up with, setting those priorities of what the must-haves are, what the would like to haves, what the can do later ons are, and what it doesn't matter to you, you know, those kinds of things. Think about doing the hardest things up front, listening and honoring your partner's wishes while taking into account the greater good. You obviously have to look at your budget and see if it makes sense. And you know, there's compromise there. There's compromise in saying, you know what, I hear you that you really want granite in the kitchen. Let's do it in 2 years. And then suddenly there's something that two people can be excited about. Understanding that it can be a challenging time, putting forth all these design options and pulling it all together. There's going to be anxiety. There's going to be worry. You know, what if, oh gosh, what if things don't go together? We have now in our policy that if you are building a home with Adair Homes right now, we're actually kind of discouraging people for picking all of their colors right now. We want you need to pick what your structural home is going to look like. We're going to do the construction drawings. We're doing that. We're on this path. However, you're also going to be using a lot of your brain power to do all the stuff that's ahead of the actual build, like the site excavation and you know, getting utilities, waiting for a permit. There's all these steps, you know, that we may talk about in another video. We have a lot of information about that, but there's a lot of things that you're going to be thinking about and spending money on ahead of time. So this is a nice thing. It means you're not going to have to decide everything at once and be on total brain overload. So just know that you can pick things and then you'll have a chance to pick again in the different colors or, you know, adding things. You can add something, say somebody gives you an inheritance or something, and then suddenly you can get your granite countertops. That's going to be able to happen. We just can't do anything with the structural things. So that's another thing. And then my last thing is giving gifts to each other to keep it on a positive. We'll keep you on the same team and get those priorities in gear. So questions?
Karen would like to know how much time a new homeowner gets to spend with you when they're designing their home.
So that really depends. I would say most design meetings happen. So you would do that with your home ownership counselor. That is going to be, it could take 4 hours. I'm not going to lie. It takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And then probably multiple emails back and forth, especially if you're looking at doing any kind of custom options. You know, that's something that they have to write up and then submit, and then you get a number back. So it's going to be a process, but it's going to be anywhere from 2 hours and up to run through everything, I would say.
We had another one. What is considered the hardest items up front?
I would say do your floors. I would say do your structural stuff. So if you want to add square footage or you want to move a wall, adding windows, adding doors, those are the hardest things to go back and do later after you move in. So that's the criteria. What's going to be hardest for me to do later versus what's going to be fairly easy. You can have a tile guy come in and put in a backsplash in your kitchen in 2 days later, you know. So if you're looking at the budget number, that's going to be an easy one to do later. So it has to do with what's going to be easy for me to do later versus what's going to be really hard for me to do later, or maybe require permits from the jurisdiction, you know, to upgrade something. So does that answer that?
I think so.
Great.
And most of these look like they're questions that are going to be better handled by our homeownership counselors. So I will have somebody reach out afterwards to answer the questions directly about building. If anybody has any more questions about design options or anything related to that, we can go ahead and answer those. pricing questions, those are all going to be probably from our home ownership counselors. So I think that's about it.
I think
actually we do have one right here. Dawn would like to know the advantages of granite versus quartz.
Oh, okay, product. So there's a couple things that I like to say about the difference between granite and quartz. First off, people really like the idea of quartz because it's something that's super low maintenance. It does not need to be sealed ever. It has a lot of different options. Granite is a natural product. It is mined from the earth and cut like a big piece of bread and put into your kitchen. I would say the biggest difference between the two of those is because granite is a natural product, it has the potential for a lot of movement as well as variation. So if you are somebody who really likes that organic feel and you don't like everything the same, then granite is a really good option. I try and liken it to if people are more drawn to symmetrical things versus asymmetrical things. If you are really drawn to symmetrical things and you like the windows to be the same and you like this to be exactly, or in a pattern type of thing, if you're interested in symmetry, then quartz is probably going to be a really good product for you. Granite, you can technically put hotter things on it. I always caution everybody with both granite and quartz with putting hot things on it. Yeah, if you're going to burn yourself, go ahead, but ideally don't put hot things on either one of these because quartz, if you put something hot on it, meaning over 350 degrees, you could burn it, but the burn, because of the resin, would become a white ring. So it's unfixable. So there's that. So just don't plan on putting anything hot on there, and you're gonna really like either one of these options. Granite, you can put hot stuff on it because it's a piece of rock. However, it's just, you're spending a lot of money on this. Ideally, you just have a trivet, you know, that you would put down. But it really does come a lot from the visual aspect of what do you like? When you see a piece of granite and you see the movement and there's different colors, when you look at a sample, those are the colors that are most likely going to be in your granite. These are the colors that will be in your granite, but we don't know how they will be in your granite. Or we don't know if a lot of the granite could have way more of one color versus another color. Or there could be different sweeping movements in the granite, or, you know, less movement. Quartzes, because they're manufactured, they're really manufactured to look mostly the same from one slab to another. So I hope that answers that question.
Can you tell us what the most popular window style is presently?
We do a tremendous amount of our regular standard white vinyl windows. We're starting to dabble in the black frame windows. In Arizona, we do a fair amount of the almond color, and you know, we do a lot of just sliders, similar to this picture back here. This is just a slider. So that's really what we do. We don't get too far into design. Some just, you can add the grid, and some are fairly plain.
Do we offer cement countertops at all?
No, we don't. No, we have a fabricator that we've partnered with, and we only do quartz and granite. So if somebody wants something different, say you wanted to do a concrete on the island or something like that, that would be something that you could do after you're in your home. And so what you would do on your home order, you would just do a standard laminate countertop, and then that would be pulled off and then replaced with a concrete counter. But yeah, those are really good looking. I like them too.
Do you feel that a covered porch lessens the interior light in a home?
It really can. It's good to look at how your house is placed on your property. So if you did a covered porch, but you were, say, on the southern side of your house where you're going to have a lot of light, that would, you know, it might not affect you so much. There's also ways for, depending on the layout of your house, maybe you can add extra windows to the side, and that would bring more light in. So that's a really good thing to think about, is how the sun is on your property. I've lived in a lot of houses that have a north-facing kitchen, and that's not my favorite. I like a lot of light in the kitchen. So that's another really good thing to talk about with your super when he comes out to do a site visit with you.
Do we have upgrade levels, for example, classic, standard, luxury?
We aren't really set up that way. We basically offer all of the upgrades to everybody. We are looking at potentially doing some bundles like that. Most of what we offer are upgrades that you would just choose a la carte and be able to add to your order.
And what happens if there are design elements we want that Adair does not offer?
It really depends on what it is. So we have partners that we work with, and we have access to all of the things that they have available. So it really, if it's tile, we work with Emser Tile. So anything at Emser Tile would be available to you as a custom option. We work with Shaw Floors. So anything with Shaw and their builder region is going to be something that we would have available to you as a custom option. If it's lighting, you know, say you have a very specific lighting style that you are really after, we have a lot of customers just put in the standard lighting, and then when they move into the home, they upgrade the lighting after that. So there's lots of ways to do stuff. Your HOC is really going to be able to help you figure that out.
Francisca, I'll send you the standards sheet as well. And then Charlie would like to know if we offer bay windows.
Bay windows, you know, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't seen any inquiries about that. So I imagine that would be something that the HOC would reach out to the custom option department and find out.
All right, and it looks like most of these are questions for our homeownership counselors. Does anybody else have any more design questions we can answer? Looks like that's probably it.
Okay, I know we had an hour set aside, but we didn't know how many questions that there would be. I think it's been really nice to spend some time with you. We have a lot of resources that would be in addition to this call, and as well as the tools that we're going to be sharing with you. There's virtual Builder 101s that we can set you up with if you haven't been to one of those already. There's open house, virtual open houses that we're doing. You can reach out to our online sales team to get in touch and make an appointment at your local branch. I think, did I miss anything?
Nope. Well, we will have somebody reach out to you guys afterwards to answer any questions that we didn't get to here. And then you can also schedule with us. If you haven't had an appointment with a homeownership counselor yet, you can go to www.adairhomes.com/schedule, and we can get you accommodated there.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Appreciate it. Have a great day.